Hello, welcome back. It's all about designing and making stuff today, and we're going to be looking at pretty much anything to do with magic items, and it's the potion bottle, the potions. Don't really care what you're playing, whether it's Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, Shadow Dark, Castles and Crusades, Dungeon Crawl Classics, or anything else. We're going to make some stuff that you can use for your game, and this should be an interesting process. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll if you want to. And I suggest grabbing some food, some drink, making sure you are comfortable, and we will get started, get as much done as we can in the short space of time we have. Okay, all right. Now that you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get going. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, anything you want, doesn't really matter. We're designing stuff. We're going to design magic items. It's been a while, and we're going to do potions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Fred, we don't really need to do a live stream and making potions because anything can be a potion. Literally anything could be a potion. But what we're going to do is we're going to make potions that aren't necessarily a spell, but also are low enough power that you can sprinkle them through your game and you really don't need to worry about anything. So I'm really looking at doing stuff that is very low powered, things that you probably won't think of initially, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to do this because I want to use them myself. It's not just you, it's also about me. So here we go. Let's get your prompt in here. So what are your magic potion ideas? And we're looking for simple, common things, low power. Okay, so those are the things that I'm aiming for. Whether this is easy or hard, I don't know, but I think we can do it. And so a potion of beard growth. I've already had somebody chuck this in. Hello, Fred Huber. Fred Huber is a patron and a moderator. A potion of beard growth. Fair enough. I have a document I've already started. I have not written a lot of stuff in, but I have started doing some stuff. So that pretty much means that we've got at least some sort of head start, of some kind, right? Some kind. I have prepared something. So let's get this Google Doc moving. Here we go, and I think you should better see everything. I'll be jumping back and forth from the chat to this page. Here we go. This is it. So I decided a color change potion. So when you drink this potion, you can select what color your skin changes to for 1 day. Very, very simple. I wouldn't worry too much about including this in your game because it's not gonna break your game really. So beard growth potion, and I'm not going to call it potion of beard growth. I'm just going to call it beard growth potion. 3 words rather than 4. Let's take this and copy that. We could make this permanent too. We don't have to make it. We could say, okay, you drink this potion, your skin changes color permanently. That would be entertaining too. All right, so here we go. Beard growth potion, as Fred Huber has suggested. As I said, feel free to include your own ideas and see if we can make something from them. When you drink this potion, a long, bushy beard grows instantly on your face and chin. Okay, that was pretty easy. I don't think we need to worry too much about that. I have not stipulated a period of time, so you're going to have to cut it off. If it grows, you're going to have to cut it off. It doesn't say that it instantly regrows every single time, but this is what will happen when you drink it. You've got yourself a beard. Might be useful if you need it as a disguise, right? I'm going to leave that as common. I suppose you could say this is kind of like a spell like Disguise Self. But I feel like Disguise Self and some of the other spells that you can do, like Alter Self, they do a lot more. This is just growing a beard. Like, this is just speeding up that process. So whatever your beard is likely to be, this is just growing it a bit faster, that's all. So there we go. There is another one. I'm going to look through the cantrips and see if there's anything that we can turn into a potion. I think probably one of the problems with potions and spells, or taking a spell and turning it into a potion, is that, I mean, ultimately, when you do something like that, a lot of the spells tend to not fit. I've done this and found that when I had to make a potion creating class for Shadowdark, for example, it's actually difficult to transfer every single spell into a potion without it kind of coming off as a bit weird and having to completely rewrite it. But let's do another one. Since I was looking partway through there, let's take this and copy, paste, and let's just call this the glowing potion. When you drink this potion, you glow brightly for 1 day. Brightly for 1 day. Let's go with 1 hour. 1 hour. And we probably need to stipulate sort of the distance that the glow is. So what I'm going to do is you shed bright light to a range of 30 feet. That's it. And the magical effect does not go dim or anything. It's just bright light and then that's it. End of story. So nice and simple. Remember, magical light does not need to work by real life physics because it's not real life physics. Magic is something else, right? So we can write it and make it mechanically work any way we like. Anyway, let's go back to chat and see if there's anything else there. Otherwise, I'll throw another one in there. I don't know how useful glowing brightly is going to be, but we've got one. We've got one in here. Okay, potion of piercing fingernails. Makes fingernails temporarily grow into long, large claws. No, too complicated, Fred Huber. I'm not going to have it grow 1 foot per hour for 4 hours. No, it just goes poof into the size you need. That's it. End of story. Yeah. If you haven't figured it out, I try to make things really simple. Potion of piercing fingernails. Okay, I think I know what we need to do with this. Let's do something with that. I've got an idea of how to approach it. So yes, let's take the fingernail idea, but let's say it's claws. So growing claws. You're developing a natural weapon, aren't you? Claw growth potion. Okay, there we go. Let's take this. We can take this structure here. Paste. Claw growth potion, da da da. When you drink this potion, your fingernails transform into claws that do 1d4 damage. That do 1d4 damage for 1 hour. Let's just make it a 1 hour thing. So it's not a permanent, you grow them and you've got them. And there we go. Claw growth potion. Bum bum bum. Have I got this lined up? Oh, I'm a bit too far over. Oh, there we go. That's better. Just don't want you to miss the end of it. Okay, cool. So that's that one. We're doing quite well so far, if you ask me. Let's go over and look at spells again. I don't know. Well, do I want to do that? We could have you just catch on fire, but you don't actually take any fire damage. The problem is we're essentially making a potion of fire immunity, which is not a really simple effect at all. It's something else completely different. So we're going to forget that. Let's just move on. It's basically the Human Torch effect, isn't it? Druidcraft, an interesting spell, but difficult to make into a potion, if you ask me. Weather sensor, no, it's not a potion effect. It's not really a potion. Well, hang on. Let's do the blooming flower as a potion. It's not going to work the way that people would expect it, but I think there's precedence for something like that. We can make that work. Let's take one aspect of these potions and go with the glow one. Paste. And we're going to, of course, have to call it into well, blooming flower potion. Okay, right, here we go. This is this is weird. When you drink this potion, flowers instantly bloom from your hair. Where else? Where else? Do we want them just in your hair, or do we want them somewhere else? I think we could go somewhere else. I was thinking feet, hands. Let's just do here. 1 hour is a good enough timer. Lasts for that long. Done. Okay, so that was Druidcraft. I don't think we should do anything else with this. Maybe we can do something with odor though. Hadn't really thought a huge amount about this. Like, you know, how would we do that? But as a potion, making yourself stink or smell sweetly. Let's go body odor potion. All right, here we go. Let's do that one. Sorry, people. It's happening. I'm doing it. When you drink this potion, you can choose to smell in any way you like for, let's make it 1 hour. It's not forever, but yeah, 1 hour. Why not? 1 hour's a good time. So I haven't stipulated whether it's a bad smell or a good smell. Okay, when you drink this potion, you can choose to smell in it in any... No, okay, smell is not the word. You can choose. You can choose an odor or scent you give off for 1 hour. Okay, there we go. That's better. I think that's, yeah. It was a little rough because the word smell suggests that I'm doing the smelling rather than I'm giving off an odor. So yeah, body odor potion. There we go. All right, so it's basically perfume. it's perfume. The only difference is that you can select the scent that it gives off. It's perfume. I just realised I just made perfume as a magic item. Okay, I mean, it's got a few options. It's not a stinky smell or a sweet smell or it's whatever you choose, but it's basically just magical perfume. Okay. Sorry, I just, yeah, just clicked in my head as soon as I did it. I was like, oh, that's what I've done. Okay, allergy potion. Everyone is allergic to it and starts sneezing with burning, watery eyes. All actions are at disadvantage. That is a cursed magic item, and we have done cursed magic items. I'm not taking the allergy potion. We did a bunch of cursed magic items that did horrible things. The things we've made aren't necessarily bad. They have the potential to be of some use. So I'm not going to make any horrible cursed potions today. So yeah, I'm not getting tricked by that. I can see that coming a mile away. Nice try, Fred. Let's keep going. Let's keep making some more stuff. So if I was going back through here, I don't think there's anything else, because really what we're wanting to do is we want the potion to affect whoever's drinking it. We don't want anything else going on. Eldritch Blast doesn't work. Elementalism. No, because I think that the problem of this particular cantrip or spell is their external effects, and it's probably not going to work very well. So let's leave that alone. Friends, not going to work. Firebolt is a damage doing thing. It's not really appropriate. Friends, frostbite, guidance. Well, guidance is something you can definitely turn into a potion if you wanted to. Like, that wouldn't be difficult to do. Like, you could take the concept of 1d4 to an ability check. You choose for you choose an ability check. Let's do it. Let's do the guidance potion, I guess. Paste. A single use, which is always good, and then paste. You drink this potion, you add you add 1d4. You add 1d4 to 2. Next, ability check. You have to make in a 24-hour make in the next 24 hours. So we put a time limit on it, so it can, and we don't want it to be used for every single check that you make, because that would be too strong. But it is a one use. So when you drink this potion, you add 1d4 to the next ability check that you have to make in the next 24 hours. You don't get to choose which one you use it against. It is just the next ability check. Simple as that. Guidance. Okay. And we've got 24 hours to expend it. That should be sufficient time and game time to get it done. Right. That'll do. Next. Gust. No, because the problem with gusts and anything to do with moving wind and so forth, it's just going to wind up being a fart potion. Which is funny. Do I consider that a curse? Only if you can't control it. If it's uncontrollable farting and creating an odor, I guess it's funny for everybody else, but it's not funny for the person who's been drinking it. And the problem is, if anybody was tempted to make a potion of farting, I'm probably at the top of the list. So I don't think I should do that. So I'll leave it alone. Okay, next thing. Mage Hand. Do you know, I can see a place where this would be interesting, where Mage Hand might be not Mage Hand, but something else. Would it not be funny to have a potion that makes your arms grow really long? So you're not, I mean, you'd still be handling something or touching something, and it'd still be at range, but your arms are extremely long. Let's do that. Long arms potion. Oh dear. It's very Mr. Fantastic, isn't it? Copy. Let's do this. Paste it. Drink this potion. Your arms grow to a length of 30 feet for, do we want 1 hour or 1 minute? Let's just make it 1 minute. There we go. That wasn't hard. Highly entertaining for me, probably for everybody else. What else do we have here that we can fiddle with? Down, mending. No, because mending, I don't want you to be able to mend stuff by drinking a potion. That sort of makes... Oh no, I don't think that's the right way to go. Let's leave that alone. Message. Well, it's basically, if we start doing message, we're really starting to look at something like telepathy. And telepathy is not low-level stuff. But a potion of telepathy, I mean, I think don't most games already have potions of telepathy anyway? Isn't the potion of telepathy such a common concept to have? I'm sure it is. Potion of telepathy is probably something that pops up all the time. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Is there nothing in... There's nothing in Shadow Dark in the core book. What about here? This is all of that stuff, right? So... Sharp and slippery is the usual culprits here. And then but don't have anything that says telepathy. Fire breath, not going to happen if we've already got it. Don't need it again. Potion of growth, invisibility, mind control. Okay, so there's a few. Water breathing. Oh, maybe they haven't created one. Apparently they haven't. It would not be a low-level magic item, though, a potion of telepathy. It definitely would. I think that would be classified as something that's a little bit more extensive. So, okay. Minor illusion, mind sliver, none of those are good things to be messing with, so we'll leave them alone. And mold earth, poison spray. Prestidigitation is probably where I would like to go next, because these things sort of last an hour, and there's an opportunity to sort of mess with things. But again, let's go back to chat and see if anybody else has cooked up an idea that we might be able to use. So let's have a look here. What have you got in the chat? Oh, nothing so far. Just Fred Huber and myself doing most of the ideas today. Okay. All right. Let's truck back over and let's break down prestidigitation. Okay, so prestidigitation. Instant harmless sensory effect. Shower of sparks, a puff of wind, musical notes, or an odd odour. We've done an odour one, body odour. I think we should do one about singing. Let's have a potion of singing. I've been watching an awful lot of, what do you call it, America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, da-da-da-da-da. Let's include a potion that allows you to sing. Bum, bum, bum. When you drink this potion, you can sing any song you select. Okay, you can sing any. That's not any. That's and any song you select. Okay. Professional. Performer for 1 hour. There we go. I think we can classify that as being a relatively low level effect. I don't think that's a high level effect. So we've got that. And we've got a time frame for it. Next, we don't need to worry about light and lighting things. I don't think we'll do that at all. Clean or soil. Instantly clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic feet. I mean, it's tempting to make a potion that cleans or soils you, but I feel like it's, yeah. No, let's leave that alone. And let's leave that alone. I know what we can do, though. We've got one here for chilling and warming. And we could separate this a couple of different ways. We could make one that makes you warm and one that chills you. No, it would wind up. No, we can use advantage. We can use advantage, then it's not really... Well, hang on here. The advantage mechanic, if you're using 5e, if you're playing another system, you won't give a toss. But if you're playing 5e, it would fall into uncommon, wouldn't it? Because you're dealing with advantage, and that tends to be where it needs to sit if you're applying advantage to something. Okay, but we can do it. It's a little strange. It would have very specific uses. It's not going to come up that often. But a lot of these potions are intended to be that way, so... Warming potion. And we'll have to drop to the next page, which is always a good sign. Let's go down to here. Oh no, I'm not taking the whole thing, just this bit here. Bam. Copy. Hopefully I'm sharing this with you guys. Yes, I am. Thank God for that. Warming potion. Paste. Comma. And we'll bold it. When you drink this potion, you have advantage on Constitution checks to resist the cold for 1 hour. Constitution. Okay, so this is now uncommon because it's advantage, and this is related to doing a Constitution check to resist the cold. That, not the fold, but the cold. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got that one. We can do the exact opposite. We can have one that does the reverse of that, and just go here. Paste. Warming, chilling. Potion. To resist heat for 1 hour. Okay, for a, yep. Here we go. Very small effect. Those are uncommon. What else can we do? We've got magic mark here. Chill warm. We've got flavor. Well, we don't want to change the flavor of your meat. That just sounds like you're asking for trouble, you know. Oh, I would like to drink a potion that makes me taste more like a halfling so that when the monsters eat me, they're happy. It's not necessarily a potion you want to make, or a potion that the players will want to use in the first place. So we'll leave that alone. I don't think they can find a way of making that useful, not unless they can get somebody else to drink it. So we'll leave that alone. We've got colour done already. Small marks, symbols appear. What we could do, what about a tattoo potion? I reckon we should make a tattoo potion. Why not? And it's a very simple thing. Let's make a tattoo potion. Copy. Down. I want to check the chat in a second. I'm just going to do this one first. Just because it popped into tattoo potion. Tattoo potion. When you drink this potion, you select the tattoo that appears on your skin, including the location on your body and design for 1 hour. I'm sure players will figure out a way of making that useful to them in some way. I'm sure they will figure out how to make that of some use to them. Okay, tattoo potion. All right, let's go back to the chat and see if anybody's cooked up any other ideas. Otherwise, I'll keep plugging away as I have been. No, we're very quiet today. That's all right. Only 2 people here. I am going to jump back over, and I'll just keep knuckling down and putting more in. So maybe this is proving to be a more difficult task for people to come up with ideas. It's easy to come up with potions that are really powerful and do lots of really strong things. It's not so easy to do things that are really simple. I mean, a lot of these potions you wouldn't really need to worry about including in your game. It wouldn't be a big deal, right? Okay, minor creation. You create a magical trinket. That doesn't make any sense. An illusionary effect. Okay, so I think prestidigitation, we've sort of gone as far as we can with that. How am I doing? It's only 12:36. Oh my gosh. Primal savagery. What is primal savagery actually all about? What's it? Oh, okay. There's Xanath's guide. I forgot I don't have access to all that stuff anymore. Ray of Frost, no. Resistance. Well, I suppose we could do resistance. I think the problem with resistance is takes damage from the creature reduces the total taken by 1d4. I think what we do is we take this idea. I remove the time limit or duration. I mean, as soon as you take that damage, you reduce it by 4, and then the effect is over. I guess there's another way we could look at this. It's not resistance might not be necessarily damage hit points lost, but like a saving throw of some effect or some effect like that. I don't know how I want to do this. I'm just thinking. Okay, let's go with. It's not durability. It is resistance, isn't it? Potion of resistance. Take that, drop it in, put that down. It should be a common magic item because it is resistance. Paste it. And then we just make sure that so we already have uncommon as resistance, so there's something that already exists. One type of damage. Okay, so let's call it something else. Since there is already a potion of resistance, it needs to have a different name, and I just need to write it in such a way that it's going to make sense. What about, we can probably use a different word, couldn't we? Vitality, durability. Potion of durability. Let's do that. Let's go durability. And bold. Okay. Common. You drink this potion. Reduce this potion. It reduces damage. The damage reduces the damage taken by 1d4 the next time you lose hit points. Let's just do that. When you drink this potion, it reduces the damage taken by 1d4 the next time you lose reduce the damage taken by 1d4 the next time you lose hit points. Simple. It's not healing. It is damage reduction of our nature. We could probably, you might even want to say this may be one of those things where it should be pushed into uncommon. I'll leave it there for now. That's only if you're dealing with 5e. Every other system, it won't matter in the slightest. So, okay, all right, let's do that. Next. Moving along. Sacred Flame, not really appropriate. Shillelagh. Do you know Shillelagh? I can see this being something that would be interesting to include. What we would do is we wouldn't do that. Shillelagh would not be applied to a club or a staff. We would apply it to your unarmed strikes. I think what we'll do is we'll go here. Iron Fist Potion. Let's do that. Lozenger. My voice is going to go otherwise. Okay. All right. Let's do that. Let's cut this in here. So we're not going to increase the damage that you do, but it means the blow that you perform is treated as being magical. That could be fun. The Iron Fist Potion. So, where was the claw one? The claws growing. Because I had one that was around that. Here we go. So, if you can transform into claws that do 1d4 damage. With strikes for 1 hour. Okay. So we've got that. Let's take this whole concept here and copy it, because we can just transfer it over and go paste. Your unarmed strikes. Unarmed strikes are considered magical. Now, do I want it to be 1 hour? I think 1 minute was probably a better idea for 1 minute. That gets you one fight. Magical punching, kicking, and all the rest, whatever it might be. But yeah, unarmed strikes. Right, and there's no plus bonus to it. It's just magical. And that's Shillelagh. I mean, I think probably Shillelagh's probably significantly more useful than what I've just done in terms of a potion, but it's certainly not overpowered. So let's keep going. Shocking Grass. This might be one we can actually use, because we can electrify somebody and have them do some sort of electrical damage or electrical lightning damage of some kind. So okay, so the next time somebody does this, what would it be called though? We could do that with fire as well, not just lightning. We could do a potion that is kind of does lightning damage when you touch somebody once, and we could do one that does fire damage as well. We could even have one that does cold damage, you know, like frost damage or something like that. So we can sort of play around with a few different things here. The question is, How do I structure that? I think it has to be the next time, or the next time you use it, the next time. I guess mechanically, there's got to be a nice clean limit. Here we go. I think maybe the guidance potion will give us the tools we need. If we take this and we use that structure, do I need to put a time limit on it, or just say the next time you okay, let's go here, copy, and let's see if we can't do that. What would you call it? Electrified potion. Yeah. Paste. Let's do that. When you drink this potion, we need to make sure we get our damage right. 1d8. 1d8 is a lot. You drink this potion, you do 1d8 lightning damage to the next creature you touch. Next creature you touch in the next 24 hours. There we go. So you got one charge. And we can take that structure and we can do that with a couple of other things as well. So we could literally, word for word, just a few changes. When you drink this potion, you do 1d8 lightning damage to the next creature you touch in the next 24 hours. So it'll hold the charge. Let's get rid of the 24 hours thing. You can do 1d4 lightning damage to the next creature you touch. End of story. That gets rid of the timer, but it means the next time you touch somebody, they're going to get electrified. It also eliminates people reading too much into it and thinking that you can electrify people with 1d8 lightning damage for 24 hours over and over and over again, which I'm sure is where people will start to go with this. So let's not do that. Okay, so let's take this concept and let's go. What would be flaming potion, fiery potion, I guess fire potion. You do 1d8 damage to the next creature you touch, and we can do the same thing again with cold. Let's go here, copy. Would we kill? No, we'll leave it alone. We could do one with cold, but I don't think I'll bother. I'll just keep with those two. It'll be good enough. Okay. All right, 50 minutes left. Oh, 50 minutes gone. So we've still got plenty of time. How many we got here so far today? It would be nice to get 20, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, all right. So we're doing pretty well. Shock and Grass gave us quite a few different ideas we could play with, and I feel like we've got quite a few different options. Some that do damage, a lot that do not. Let's have a look at chat and see if there's anything else that has been cooked up. Otherwise, I'll keep plugging away and just keep making more. Hi, Shy X. Carnival Potion. Decorated. Its effects is randomly chosen by the DM. I am confused. What is a Carnival Potion supposed to do? I am very confused by what a Carnival Potion would have to do, or what its intention behind it would be, Shy X. A random effect. It leaves it very open. Siphon Potion. Target a creature with a condition. That creature no longer has that condition. And the potion contains a liquid that has the condition. It's very, very confused. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Carnival is a surprise. Yeah, but the problem is, how would I write that, Shy X? That's the issue. Is like, how do I put that down? Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Okay, now this Siphon Potion. Target a creature with a condition. So really, what we're talking about is a cure potion. That's essentially what we're talking about here. Siphon Potion. You're saying a condition, and I suppose you could, if you're thinking 5e, but I'm not thinking just about 5e. I'm thinking about other things. What would be the equivalent of something like that? You've got healing potions that restore hit points, but then maybe it would be... Actually, maybe there's a place to make a cure potion. It probably would be more than just common, though. It might fall under uncommon, just because of the very nature of it. And I'm just trying to think now. Is it Lesser Restoration? 5e spell. Lesser Restoration. So level 2 spell. You touch a creature and can end one disease or one condition affecting it. Let's just get rid of the idea of condition, and let's just say let's make a cure one, and let's just keep it nice and specific. Cure potion. Paste. When you drink this potion, you are no longer diseased or poisoned. I could live with that. And we'll make it uncommon, because that would be more of an uncommon cure potion. Fine, got it. Okay, that's down. Let's plug away. I'll come back to the chat and have a look and see what else you've cooked up. What else can we do with what we've got here? Spare the dying. You know, I think there definitely is a place for a potion that you can give to somebody that doesn't restore hit points, but stops them dying. And The good thing about this is it's a potion. It can only be used once. You as the game master get to choose when you put them out if you feel like it's going to be an issue. They're not necessarily going to be back in the fight, but using that potion may be a better option, particularly if it's automatically stabilizes a dying creature. But if you're running, playing a game where dying is not a thing, when you hit 0 hit points, you're dead anyway, it's not going to mean very much. But I'm not against making a potion like that you could utilize that is sort of very low powered. I guess you would call it a stabilization potion. I guess that would be one way of sort of looking at it. Stabilization potion. Okay, well let's see if we can do it. Let's give it a go. We did the cure potion, and that's uncommon. This one will actually be common because it's just stabilizing. Let's go here. Stabilization potion. Okay, when you drink this potion, so you can't drink the potion when you are forced to drink this potion if you are on 0 hit points and dying it automatically stabilizes, that's not right, stabilizes you. But you unconscious. Let's go 1d4 hours. Whoops. Okay. When you are forced to drink this potion, you are forced to drink this potion, and are on 0 hit points and dying, it automatically stabilizes you, but you are unconscious. Okay, I think I got it. Here we go. Done. Sweet. Let's go back to chat and see what else we've got that we could mess around with. Oh, there's a lot of ideas here. So we've taken the siphon idea, and I've just made it a cure one, so that's fine. A first level spell effect or whatever it is needs at the time. Grub potion contains a single grub that, when consumed, turns the target into a bug. Is there why does it have to be a bug? I can see the benefits of doing this. It's basically polymorph though, because the effect is so great. It's not really a low level effect, it's quite a high level effect. And one of the things I've discovered recently is that the shaman class that I made for Shadow Dark allows you to transform into an insect. And it is proven to be incredibly useful and quite strong in that game. And I don't want the Shaman in Shadow Dark to not have it. But as a potion, if I was playing Shadow Dark, it would not matter in the slightest. And something like 5e, it is not a low-level effect. It is quite a high-level effect. It's the only thing I can think of. Perfected Potion of Healing. Heals 10 hit points, can be used as on a dead creature, but only if it had... This is so that what you've just described to me, Shy X, is so 5e centric, and 5e really doesn't need any more potions that heal hit points. I mean, 2024, there's so many temporary hit points going on now. I don't know how anybody's supposed to even die. So I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to leave that alone. Instead, we'll just look at the next thing. Furball Potion. When consumed, turns target into a cat that coughs up furballs. Again, transforming into a cat. Transforming into an animal is a very high level effect. Coughing up the furball isn't, but not terribly useful. Gelatinous Potion. Cubed jelly at the bottom. When consumed, turns your creature type into an ooze. Okay, Weird Potion, subdues. So these are all sort of transforming the person and basically using polymorph. Polymorph's very high level effect. You might as well just have a polymorph spell, polymorph potion. So I feel like the grub, the furball, the gelatinous potion, the weird potion, they're basically just polymorph potions. Cleansing Potions removes a level of exhaustion. Okay, so exhaustion only exists in 5e. Dear. Is there anything in 5e or 2024 that creates exhaustion at all? Giggling Potions. Doubles weight for a day. Giggling Potion doubles weight for a day? I am confused. I thought when you wrote down here Giggling Potion, I thought it makes you laugh uncontrollably or something like that. I'm not too sure how useful that was going to be. Okay, all right, so I'm having a little bit of a struggle here. So I don't want to make a polymorph potion because I'm very sure that they already exist. I'm almost completely sure they exist. Do they exist in Shadow Dark? I'm sure they do. I can't imagine they don't. Does anybody even need my help with making a polymorph potion? They probably don't. Potion. Yeah, polymorph potion in Shadow Dark. Is there one in 5e? I think. Oh, jiggling. Oh, it's not. I get it. Now I understand. Potion incapacitated target. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of leaning into the 5e stuff. So, potions. I am sure that there is a polymorph potion already. Poison. Oh, maybe there isn't. Is that for stealth? Oh, okay, there's some... Yeah, I don't have that. Don't care about it. I don't think that's a polymorph potion anyway. Potion of play. Oh, maybe they don't. 5e doesn't have a polymorph potion. Well, that's a surprise. I would have thought that they would have had something like that. But yeah, okay. All right, so I see why you're mentioning that because 5e doesn't actually have it. Well, I don't know that we need to worry about. I mean, how if I made it, and I can, and you were to use it. We just need to structure it, don't we? Okay. All right. Well, I'll make it since you mentioned it more than a few times. Let's make the polymorph potion. Since you mentioned it a few times, and it seems like 5e doesn't have one. I'm surprised. Polymorph potion. Here we go. And oops, we're onto another page. Okay, so we'll have to go down. And then we need to have a potion. Okay, when you're not forced, but when you drink this potion. Okay, here we go. Let's take this. It's not going to be common or uncommon. It's going to be quite a bit more than that for 5e. Any other system won't give a toss about that though. So when you drink this potion, we just need a... I want to make it as simple as possible. I don't want to force you to refer back to the spell polymorph. So if we're going to make it, let's make it. And I believe there's polymorph and then there's true polymorph in 5e, right? So let us just go straight to true polymorph. Let's not screw around. Let's go full blown. It's right at the top end. It's the thing that is basically a 9th level spell. And a 9th level spell rarity if using 5e is legendary. It's legendary. Okay. Legendary. I don't really like doing legendary magic items, but legendary. There we go. When you drink this potion, you transform into any creature you select for 1 hour. End of story. Done. Nice and simple. There we go. If you needed a polymorph potion, you've got one. It's right at the very extreme of your 5e games. Okay, so there it is. Honestly, I did not realise. I didn't even realise that they didn't have one. Because I'm sure I'd even given a polymorph potion out to my group in Shadow Dark. So it didn't even occur to me that maybe Shadow Dark had one and 5e didn't. That seems strange. I can't even imagine polymorph potion and it doesn't have one in 5e. It's really, yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked. You'll notice I've made no mention of concentration. One, I always like it when a magic item is one line and there's nothing else attached. No complications. It just works. That's it. It doesn't state things about whether you transform into the creature. Yes, it doesn't state anything about what your stats are or whether you lose all the hit points, you gain all your hit points when you transform back, because that's bollocks. I'm going to leave that all to the game master to sort and decide. They can make those decisions. They should be making those decisions anyway. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, let's go back since I've made that item. And is there any other ideas? Okay, here we go. Jack and Jill potion used by 2 targets to are nearly inseparable and never more than 5 feet away. That is a complicated Jack and Jill potion. The KO potion, incapacitated target. That's a terrible idea, the KO potion. That's to make a target incapacitated if they drink it. Yeah, yes, that can be used in really bad ways. That's not a good idea at all. Okay, let's have a look here. So, ever chill potion, feels comfortably cold for the day. Ever warming. So we've got a warming potion and a chilling potion already. Lengthy pole doubles height. Oh, you want to increase somebody's height. It's an interesting idea. Increasing their height. Feels like it's enlarge. It's basically enlarge, isn't it? But you're lengthening them. Copper potion detects nearby copper. Why would you, oh, so you detect nearby copper. Why would you need to do that? Sad potion, potion smoother, sad. There's some very odd things going on here. Okay, all right. Let's go and have a look at some of the other things we could do with potions. Yeah, I'm very curious as to how that would all work. So one of my favorite things to do is to look at something that somebody else has already done and modify it. Like, this is the sort of thing you should be doing yourself, right? You should be taking something that somebody else has done and modifying it and adjusting it for your game. And then seeing where it takes you, right? Because you'll be surprised where things can go. Because sometimes they'll be really obvious and sometimes they won't. So, do you know, I think, bark skin is probably something that should be a potion. A skin of bark skin. Now, that's probably not going to be a low-level magical effect, right? It's probably going to be a little bit higher up than what we would normally expect. But it's a pretty obvious one to consider. Or some sort of armoring effect. You could say, oh, mage armor. Or, okay, well, potion of mage armor. But I think bark skin is a more interesting way to go. So let's go here. I know that the bark skin spell 5e. Let me see. Okay. Okay. You touch a willing creature, or forget about that. Whoever drinks it's going to have one up the bark skin. Target's skin is rough a bit, bark-like appearance. Can't be less than 16, regardless of what armor is wearing. So let's do the bark skin potion. It is going to be an uncommon potion because it's a level 2 spell, so we've got to kind of aim for that. But let's do that. I don't think it exists already. I think a potion of bark skin is not something that is listed in here. Potion of... Nope. Potion of advantage. God, that potion of advantage is an awful idea. Such a terrible idea. But there's actually no bark skin potion, much to my surprise. That's weird. Does Shadowdark have one? I thought 5e doesn't have one. Does Shadowdark include a potion of bark skin? Surely it does. Potion of bark skin does not exist. I guess we'll make it. Let's do it. Let's go copy. Let's go down. And we'll go paste. So, potion. Let's just go bark skin potion. Okay, when you drink this potion, now we can take the bark skin spell. And let's go here. This potion, paste. Potion. Bark. Grows over your skin. Giving you a armor class of 16. End of story. So that works fine for the likes of 5e, and it's definitely quite a lot stronger than the plate armor that you can wear in Shadow Dark, which gives you a 15. And of course you could wear a shield, which means you could possibly go up to an 18 in Shadow Dark, and you'll go up to an 18 potentially in the likes of 5e, and then of course 5e's got bucket loads of other things you can add on as well. No, I think that'll be alright. I think that'll be fine. So we'll create bark skin. There we go. Okay, right, what are we doing next? I think the next thing I wanted to do was Strange Dungeons and Dragons potions. Okay. Of strange potions. Grow, mind reading, and vulnerability. These aren't strange. These are like quenches thirst. That's what? Helps detect. Potion of benign cow removes 1 level of exhaustion because, but increases it by yeah, okay, whatever. Explosion, smoldering, utter understanding, spring water, unpredictable effects. Can cause a range of bizarre and unpredictable effects, like turning the drinker's skin blue, making them speak in rhymes, causing their hair to grow at an alarming rate. Okay. Unpredictable effects. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Okay, I'm thinking about it, but yeah. I don't know. Alright, let's go to chat one more time. What's my time like? We've actually got plenty of time. Oh, he's put in... Oh, God, have you got a lot of ideas here. Alright, Shy Hex, what else can we pull out of here? We have actually pulled a whole bunch of your ideas and created one potion for the... I think we've actually done a few here. So, Doggone Potion makes target irritable. It's basically a cursed magic item. Okay, Double Shot Potion. Hold 2 doses of common potions. No, I think skip that idea. Crab Potion. Feels uncomfortable like crawls. This is another curse. Oh, I see. It's really odd. Whirlwind Potion. Target subjected to a constant wind and with fresh air storms. Is that really a potion though? Freaky Friday Potion. Swaps bodies for a day with a second target. Yes. Freaky Friday does that, doesn't it? That's certainly a potion you can make. That would certainly be a lot of fun. I almost feel like an entire adventure could be built around that until, of course, somebody dies and then you've got problems. Poltergeist Potion can open or lock doors at a distance. To open a locked door is a DC 20. Okay. So really, Poltergeist Potion is kind of like Mage Hand. We've already kind of got long arms, which is basically Mage Hand. You're stretching your arms out. Freaky Friday Potion. I'm interested in that. I'm just trying to figure out how I would do it. And nothing comes to mind. This is the problem. I knew this was going to be an issue for me. That working my way through magic items, because magic items are getting harder and harder. We've done a lot of magic items. I think we're on to volume 23. This will make volume 24. So we've covered pretty much everything. I think the only thing that we haven't done is scrolls. And I honestly don't think that scrolls are even worth entering into. So I ignored it. I'm like, I was thinking, do I do scrolls? Is it absolutely necessary, or should we just skip it and just move on to something else? And yeah, in my mind, I was thinking, I feel like it's something that you just skip rather than you worry about. Potions is essentially the last of them. I don't think we're doing any other magic items after that. Potion of Bless. Oh, does it exist? Basically, a potion that you drink that blesses you. I guess that's something we could do. That would have a place in your game, right? We could definitely do something that's considered bless. I am unsure if that's really such a great idea, though. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm thinking that maybe it's just unnecessary. The thing is, one of the things I've discovered is that the 5e bless spell is like a no-brainer. Like it's one of the best spells out there, and it's level 1, and it affects multiple targets. Now, with a potion, you're only affecting one target, which is better, right? But even the likes of Bless and Shadow Dark, the Bless spell in Shadow Dark is just advantage, right? One creature you touch gains a luck token, so which is nice and simple. But the underlying reality of that, when you do something like that, is it's really, really strong and it's really, really good. But we could probably do it if I just structure it as bless and its advantage, and that's the effect. I think that's probably the smartest way to go, is to call it a potion of bless. Let's do that. Let's make that. We think we can do that. That's a doable one. Let's go potion of bless. And I don't believe that exists, so I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It doesn't exist in 5e, so it probably it might exist in Shadow Dark. I haven't actually looked, have I? Let's have a look. Potion of Bless. I can't imagine that. Yeah, it's not there, so it's not a thing. So we could do this. Let's do that. We'll go here. We need to structure it in such a way that its use is done and dusted once it's used. So we don't want a time frame where you're continually getting the advantage. That would be a bad mechanic to include in a potion. So what we need to do is we need to go with sometime that you make a stat check. I think we had something that was built around that, which would probably be like like guidance. So this here, guidance, we could build around that. Let's go down. And I'll go here, paste. It's got to have to be uncommon. Okay, and Potion of Bless. Okay, when you drink this potion, you have advantage. Advantage. On the next ability check. Attack roll. Or saving throw. That's it. An ability check is a skill check. attack roll, a saving throw. Yep. And of course saving throws don't exist in Shadow Dark. Attack rolls do, ability checks do, which is stat checks. Ability check is a skill check. So yeah, it covers all of sort of the bases. Yeah, okay, that's fine, we can do that one. I feel like that is so similar to the Potion of Advantage. Melee attacks, advantage on ranged attacks, advantage on... and it's in the... yeah, I've got the book, but I don't want to grab the book. I'll have to have a look at it and make sure that it isn't identical, because it can't be identical. That would be bad news. That would be a bad thing to do. We don't want to do that. Okay, so there's Bless. Blind, deafened. I don't know that I want to make a potion that removes being blind and deafened. I suppose you could. It would be easy to do. It's not a big deal. You know, it's like the cure potion. I just don't want the cure potion to be able to remove absolutely everything. That would be too much. What else is there? Potion that allows you to speak with the dead. I suppose you could do that. I mean, that's not a big deal, is it? Like, how often is that going to happen? Speak with dead. There it is. There's the spell. Five questions. Let's skip the 5 questions thing. We don't need that. I think a conversation with something that's dead that lasts more than 10 minutes is probably gone wrong really badly. So we don't want to make it too short. We don't want to make it too long. We don't want to cast it on the dead. We want it to affect the person that who's drinking it. That's what we want to do. Okay, so potion of speak with dead. Okay, let's do that. It is a level 3 spell, so it has to be uncommon, unfortunately. And then we need to have the effect that we are attaching to this. Let's go here, bold. When you drink this potion, what's the best way to go with this? Okay. I think the problem is that the Speak with Dead spell itself is so wordy and so complicated in 5e that it's kind of unmanageable, if you ask me. So what I want to do, what do I want to do? I want to make sure that it's nice and concise, nice and simple, and nice and easy to deal with. I think we should. Well, I think what we should do is we should make it really easy to contend with. When you drink this potion, you can speak with any dead corpse you can see within 30 feet for, and let's give you a time limit. And I don't want to go yes no answers. Let's just talk. Talk. For, let's go 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a good time. When you drink this potion, you can speak with any dead corpse you can see within 30 feet for 10 minutes. That's all I think we need. I don't think we need to say anything else. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right? So yes, that's what I'll do. I'll put that in there. Okay, let's go back to the chat. See if there's any other ideas. My brain is pretty much coming to the end of its functionality. Bone potion. This sounds interesting. Bone potion, encased in a bone made of a bottle, restores a lost limb with bone and flesh. It's too strong. It's an interesting idea, bone potion. I'm not saying it's not an interesting idea, but I don't want to build any. We've built so many really strong magic items. I don't want to build something as strong as that. We've already done the polymorph potion and so forth. I wanted to keep things really, really sort of low end. A ton potion weighs a ton, but comes with straw target. Okay, lost potion. Drink if you are lost to find your way back to the last place you slept. That's it's really funny that is very entertaining. Lollipop potion, sweet as heck, increased speed by 5 feet. Yeah. All right. I think we'll stop there today. A little bit earlier. I've had COVID not that long ago, so my brain isn't working quite as well as it could be, unfortunately. But I think we've got a fair number. I'll put them onto Patreon at the end of the week. We'll see how we go. Have you made magic potions for your tabletop role-playing games? Yes, 54%. No, 27% at 11 votes. Just watching, 18%. Well, I think Shy X has made a lot of potions in his time, and I think Fred Huber has too. There's a lot of different things going on there. So that was certainly very interesting. But yeah, I think we've got what we need. And I think we've got at least about 20 now. 20 that we've created. They're really, most of them are fairly low level. So color change potion, a beard growth potion, glowing potion, claw growth potion, blooming flower potion, body odor potion, guidance potion, long arms potion, potion of singing, warming potion, chilling potion, tattoo potion, potion of durability, iron fist potion, electrified potion, fiery potion, cure potion, stabilization potion, polymorph potion, which is very powerful, bark skin potion, potion of bless, potion of speak with dead, and that I think will do. I think that's good enough for today. We'll leave it at that. Which, for those of you who have been enjoying sitting down and making various magic items with me on my YouTube channel, this is the last time. This is intended to be the last time that I make any more magic items on the channel. Maybe the future will come and I'll feel differently about that, but we've kind of done everything. Like I said, we're up to 23 different sort of packages or volumes, and this will make 24. So I think it's come to like 500 or close to 500 magic items, and all of which, well, not all of them, but the vast majority are low-level, low-powered magic items, so they're probably not going to unsettle your game that much. You're not going to have to freak out too much about them. I think that's enough. I don't think we need to do any more. And then on top of that, on the Patreon, there's the table of 100 magical effects, some positive ones and the negative ones. I think that gives you enough to play around with to get anything done that you need to. So I don't think we really need to come back to this. So next week, I was trying to decide if I wanted to come back to 5e and work through the species and races. That was where my head was at. I was thinking we should come back and try to fix the 5e races and species, or the 2024 races and species, and clean them up. We started that process and we did a bunch of them, right? And I was like, well, let's finish the rest of them. And I don't know that I'm ready to do that just yet. I could, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that just yet. Instead, what I think I might do, and I don't know how people feel about this, is that for those of you who don't know, I've been making a lot of stuff for 5e in 2024, monster stat blocks, background stuff, races, species, and I've done classes as well, but I've also been making a lot of stuff for Shadow Dark because I like Shadow Dark. And I made, with the help of AJ Pickett, Mitchell Reed, Wally DM, and my brother David Bailey, I made 10 classes, 10 different classes for Shadow Dark. And we did 17 ancestries. And I was a primary designer behind that. But I never showed you that design process in a live stream and making your own Shadow Dark classes or ancestries. And I think maybe what I should do is I should do the hard one, because the hardest thing to do in Shadow Dark is definitely make an adventure, because it always is the hardest thing to do. And we make adventures. We'll make another adventure at the end of this month. We did one last month. We did a pirate island or a pirate town. We'll do another one at the end of the month. There'll be another adventure that we create. But I think classes for Shadow Dark, maybe, I know Kelsey's done it a few times on her channel, but maybe I should, in a live stream, sit down and show you how I would go about making a Shadow Dark class, because the more times you see it, the more likely you will be able to do it yourself if you're playing Shadow Dark. But if you're not playing Shadow Dark and you're playing modern D&D, like 5e or 2024's version, it'll make it easier for you to make changes or make your own classes. I'm not really interested in subclasses, but I think there's a place to learn how to make classes, full-blown classes. And I think I can make a class for Shadow Dark in 2 hours. Whereas I could not do that. It would take me probably 10 hours to do that, or 8 hours to do something like that for the likes of 5e or 2024. So I think next week, let's make a class for Shadow Dark. We'll make one of these. And if I make the Shadow Dark classes, it will mean I will be able to go and figure out how to fix the Warlock. I've got a fairly good idea how to do that. Fix the Druid, fix the Paladin, and a few other classes. I think finish the Sorcerer and tidy things up for modern D&D. So I think we'll do that next week. That's where my head is at. Maybe I'll feel differently about it, but that's where I'm going to go with this. So yeah, let's have a go at making classes. I think that's the go-to in my opinion. Much harder to do, but much easier to do if we deal with a system that's very simple. Like, if it was BECME or Basic, making a class is not so difficult. If it's Shadow Dark, it's not so difficult. So yeah, that's my plan for next week. So next week, we're making classes. Yep. We'll see how that all goes. So huge thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll today. Huge thank you to those of you in chat who were sharing their ideas. Shy X, don't feel bad if I did not use your idea. Sometimes it's not about your idea, it's about my ability to transfer it into something. And Fred Huber, so Shy X, Fred Huber, huge thank you for sharing your ideas and giving some inspiration. And I'll reiterate, even though I'll be making Shadow Dark classes, the intention is to make the Shadow Dark classes so I can go back and make the 5e classes. Because we got to fix that. It's not fair to leave them the way they are, because they are a horrible mess. So we got to figure out how to do that. And the only way we can do that, I think, is to lock down and go simpler before we expand out. Huge thank yous. Thank you to everybody on Patreon who's been supporting me. I do appreciate it. I think I just had a new paid patron member, and a couple of free ones joined just recently. So thank you for supporting me on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. We're going to keep making stuff on this channel in the live streams. It is my go-to. Tomorrow I am running a game for Shadow Dark, running an adventure called The Beast's Lair on Wally DM's channel. And hopefully I'll get something up so you can see what's going on. before before it's time for that to happen. So that's going to be happening very shortly. But anyway, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.